All right, how's it going, everyone? So I'm going to actually spend this video just playing around with Chakra UI. I hear a lot of people talk about this UI. I think it's just like a component library that you can build applications with, right? I know nothing about this, I'll be honest with you all. So if you're looking for like a real overview, don't watch this video. But I have a Vite app created with React using some TypeScript. And I'm going to go ahead and just read through these docs and see how far I can get in like 10, 20 minutes. Framework guide. So if you read through here, it looks like you can just follow a framework guide. I am using Vite. So let's see if we can kind of follow what they tell us to use. So it looks like you need a lot of dependencies from the get-go. I guess that's not a bad thing or a good thing. I don't know. Let's just go ahead and install all those dependencies. You need Emotion, which is a styling library for React. You need Framer Motion, which is like an animation library for React, I believe. And then you have Chakra UI. So once you've set it up, let's kind of read through there. After installing the UI, you need to set the Chakra provider in the root of your application. So luckily, they kind of tell you how you can do this. We need to go ahead and bring in this provider here. And let's find what file is our root. Usually it's main.tsx. And let's just go ahead and import that. So import that provider and let's wrap our app with that provider here. Go ahead and save that. And what do we expect now? So boom, you're good to go with steps 1 and 2. However, if you love to take a step further, check out step 3. What is step 3? Customizing your themes. Well, I mean, let's just go all in. Let's just figure out what this means. So inside of which file, I guess it's the same main.txt, or not txt, TypeScript. Let's import the extend theme. And let's try to do this. So let's go ahead and grab this stuff. Go ahead and copy and paste some code. It looks like you can change colors like that, but I probably need to pass the theme to that provider down there. So let me zoom in just in case this is too small for your eyes. I'm gonna go over here and pass that theme in. So I guess this is how you can kind of configure the components to be a special color or whatever. What else is it saying? In cases where hot load reloading doesn't work, first check to make sure you're using the latest version of Vite. If the hot load issue persists, well, I don't know if I have hot loading issues, so let's just kind of keep going. Like, let's look at the styled system. Like, maybe they have a bunch of utility hooks. Style props. Style props are ways to alter the style of the component by simply passing props to it. Okay, so you have components, you can change stuff by adding margin and padding. So I'm assuming all of their components have these things that you can pass in. You can pass in margin, padding. At least that's what I'm assuming. I don't know what box is. Is box a component or is box like a layout thing? Let's see if it talks about where box is. They kind of just, start talking about box and they don't really tell you what a box is unless I'm missing that. Let me go back to getting started. Okay, well. Let's go to component. Let's just type in box. Like, what the heck is a box? Box is the most abstract component on top of which all other Chakra UI components are built. By default, it renders a div. Okay. So it looks like you can do stuff like this. It's basically a div that you can style it. So it looks like your CSS attributes come in. Your CSS is applied with attributes. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that. I kind of rather use class names like Tailwind or actually use like the style property. I'm not a big fan of how you style the components with attributes, but let's kind of go through. Airbnb example. Anyway, how do we actually make like a grid? They have grid, they have flex. So you can do a grid like this. You could do columns. So if you wanted to make like a side navigation like this, and then a main content, and then a header, I guess you could do some type of grid, right? So let's see if we can kind of hack at this and see what we can do. So let's go to the app TSX. And I'm going to go ahead and just overwrite all this stuff. Go ahead and load in grid and grid item. Cool, cool. So if I wanted a header, I want a full length header. Is that something I could easily achieve by saying row span of 1, call span of 1? Let's just add that. All right, I guess this would need call span of grid templates 5. So it looks like this thing has 5 columns, which means I need to have this thing be 5, and then I need it to be 1 row, row span of 2, row span of 1. I guess I need 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to change this to 3, and there we go. We have a header, kind of. I don't know if that's even the way you do it. They probably have components that you can use, but like I said, I'm just playing around with this, so I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Let's first search to see if they have a header. Maybe I'm just missing it. Is it called like top navigation? Nav bar? Skip nav, header. Okay. Well, maybe they don't have anything for like a header out of the box. So they have a bunch of components here you can kind of look through. And I'm going to see if they have maybe like a header. Maybe they don't. Maybe they just have a bunch of like small building blocks and you have to figure it out for yourself how to make a header. Interesting. Yeah, so I mean, if this was our header, how could we put something in here? So let's just go ahead and play around with this. And by the way, if anyone's like a professional at Chakra UI, like let me know. Call me out if I'm doing something stupid, but I'm really just playing around. So like if I wanted to do a header, usually there's like a logo on the left, you have some nav icons, and then like you have maybe something on the right for like a profile picture. So I guess technically you could do a grid again, or you could do flex. It's up to you. I wonder if I just do a grid like this, and if I told it I want it to be 3 columns, 1 row. Gap is 4. Is that a pixels, or is that rem or em? Who knows? But let's just go ahead and add at least 3 items. I don't need a row span because it's just going to be a 1. So call span 1, 1, 1. So if I do this, and if I change kind of like the colors of these, do they have other colors? I know there's like tomatoes, but like, let's find out where colors are. Color. Actually, these might be built into CSS. Tomato, I don't know. Blue, orange, pink. I'm assuming you can probably put hexadecimal here. At least I hope you could be able to do that. Let's try it out. Let's see if we can just do like, what is this one? All right, so the grid is not showing up in the header. I don't know if maybe I need to do an actual height on this. Okay, there we go. So the header is basically split up into 3 items now. And if I wanted to, I could probably like, I wonder if they have a container. So like, look at Chakra. They have 1 column here. They have this. They have some stuff over here. This might actually be two columns. And it does look like it's in a container. So let's see if they have like a container. I'm used to using Bootstrap, so like there's like built-in containers that have like a fixed width. Containing a piece of content wrap in a container. Container MD. Okay. Give this a shot. Usually you use a container if you want to like contain everything with a certain width. Max width is MD. So what are the other things you can use instead of MD? By the way, I mean, in this video, this is me actually just like learning. This is how I learn. I just play around with the docs. I don't read through docs like top to bottom. I just find things that like look interesting and play around with them. and try to pick apart the docs, because right now max W is a prop you can pass in, but it's like I don't know what the heck you can actually pass for max W. So right now I'm not really impressed with the docs, because like you can search for a property called max W and like I don't know what MD is. Like maybe they explain it somewhere else. Like max W is max width. Okay, but like looks like they have a set of sizes here. So is MD large, extra large, container large, small? Okay, so took a while to find that, but I guess they had a link. I should have just clicked on it. Let's just go ahead and do like large and see what happens. Background, I don't care about. Color, I don't care about. Go ahead and auto import that from Chakra. And we want to kind of put those things, again, I don't know, this probably won't work. I probably need to wrap the container around the outside of that nested grid like this, so I can contain it into a large. So what does this do? What does this do for us? That actually just hid everything. So I don't know why that would be hidden. Maybe I need to give it like a max height or something. Let's go back. Is there like a max height for a container? Like why is it not fully expanding for the height? The keyword height does not pop up at all for this. Okay. Size of container are not implemented in the default theme. You can extend this theme to implement them. Container composes box. So you can pass all the box related props in addition to this. Actually, I kind of wonder if we can just pass size here. I don't know if you need to do a max W. I'm also kind of confused why it's not actually like showing anything. Like I'm assuming there's no height to this. Like I need to give this a max height. So I'm assuming that there is a max H of 100% or something. Nope, that didn't do anything. Max height of 100%. Maybe I need to put a height on this? Or... Alright, so maybe this is one of those libraries where like I actually have to go and read through the entire docs, because this is just not... This isn't really making sense so far. It doesn't seem like it's really intuitive to do some stuff, but maybe I'm just a noob. So like right now, it says you can pass size into container, and I did. I passed extra large, but it doesn't seem like it's doing anything. So, I mean, maybe I need to actually go back and just use the approach they kind of give us here. So max W. All right, extra large might not be something. Let's try large. Why is this so hard to do? Why is this not actually working? So I have the full container here. And then I have this thing, which I gave it a... This thing is inside a grid. All span of 5. So this grid item should take up the full width of the header, basically. And then I have a container here, which you would think would take up the full width as well. But I guess max width, like if I actually do like pixels, so 800 pixels, does that actually like expand this at all? Okay, that does. Container small. Oh, you have to do container small? So this is probably a me issue. It's just me like not reading the docs, but I can't say I'm impressed with this. I don't know. There's just something about it. Maybe I'm so used to writing like CSS, but like I gave it a container small, which should make the width of it be a certain size. 1248, I guess. But what other container sizes do they have? If I go to the docs, it says you can go here to find the different container sizes they support. And you scroll down, you have extra large is 1280. So, yeah. Wait, how much am I zoomed in on the Chakra one? 100. 100. Okay, so that's kind of similar. Not really, but... Alright, so at this point you're probably asking, like, what the hell am I trying to do? I really don't know. I'm just playing around. I'm trying to learn. I like to learn by experimenting and not necessarily just reading through docs. So I was trying to like reproduce like a header where I could have like 3 different parts. So let's pretend like we're making this thing, this header, and I need to put like Chakra. How do you spell that? Chakra. Like that. If I do this, that prints out there. So how do you actually center the text? Let's see if there's like a text center. So just to write text, you have to do something like this. What is stack? Okay, so they have a bunch of stuff you can do to like kind of change the styling of your text. But if I want to, you know, I should probably be using flex. That's what I need to use. So flex is how I could basically center this stuff. Something like this. And if I want to center just Chakra text, let me go ahead and delete some of this stuff. Gotta auto import that. Auto import that. I want to hold my comments because I don't want to like just talk too much trash about something that I haven't really used. But this just seems really, really verbose. It seems very unnecessary. Like just to put some text, I need to wrap it in text. Like really? I mean, technically, I guess I don't need to, but there's some things like if I just wanted this to be flexbox and centered content, like even that doesn't even work. I follow their example and it doesn't even work. Like literally, this box I have centered here, centered here. It's not doing what you think it should do. And then you have to probably go back and I need to probably say this thing needs to be a height of 100% or something. Right. So it's like, maybe there's stuff I'm just not really understanding. Like what is spacer? Creates an adjustable empty space that can be used. So if I wanted this thing to be like the full width of its parent, like do I really have to add like width of 100% to all this stuff? Width of 100%. And that doesn't even do anything because this thing is hard-coded to that. Wait, so I have to set width of 100% to this thing too? Okay. If I get rid of width of this, that sticks around. Okay, how do I text align this left? I mean, I guess technically I don't care if this thing is 100% because like it's green. Like I just wanted the text to be to the left. So like really I just don't need to put a width here. Probably just do that. And then I need to like add margin left 20 pixels. Like, is that how you do it? Okay. And then I don't need a background color for this. How do you actually change like the text size? So they got a bunch of different stuff. Font size XL. Let's see. Font size is equal to XL. Let's see what happens if you do this. All right. How do you get rid of the pink? Chakra. I mean, I guess we don't need to spend too much time on like just layout and stuff. I mean, layout is kind of like one of the most important things when it comes to building out web pages. So it's important to understand like what the default things this library gives you for laying DOM elements out. It looks like they provide you Flexbox and Grid, so that's good. Kind of clunky using it so far, but again, it's like I'm just probably not used to it. But if I just want to add an icon here, like how do I do that? So there's icon buttons. Like I might have to use something like Font Awesome or something, I don't know. Chakra provides multiple ways to use icons in your project, using the Chakra UI icon library, using a third party, or using your own. So if I wanted to just use some existing icons, which I'm assuming we do, let's give that a shot. And let's just go ahead and add a phone icon or something. So the thing I'm kind of like starting to realize is that to really understand how to use Chakra, like you really need to understand the box directive, the box component, because it seems like everything extends the box component. So you need to understand like what are the properties you can pass to box, because I think you can pass them to everything else as well. So that's probably something I need to go and actually like read up on, but let's just go ahead and see if I can put this icon here and see if that'll display the icon for me. Not fine. Oh, my computer's just lagging. So let's see if an icon shows up for us. There we go. We've got a little icon here, and I need to add some margin right of 2 EM. Or I could do like 10 pixels. I'm kind of a pixels person. Like I like doing pixels, but I know a lot of people use EM and REM. I haven't really understood like what's the best approach, but I just use whatever works. So that's cool. I mean, they have all these icons you can kind of use. I hope there's more than just these. There's not that many in this icon set, but I guess you could always just bring in a third-party library if you need more icons. All right, so what else can we kind of play around with? Maybe we should kind of touch around with some components. So like if we wanted to make something on a form, like, okay, they have sliders. Let's check out the slider and see how this works. You have to import a bunch of stuff just to do a slider. I guess that's cool. So just to do a slider, you gotta import like 5 different components. Not a fan of that, but hey, I don't want to complain about everything here. So if I wanted to put, I should put different colors for these. Like it's hard to tell like what is what. So cyan, yellow, pink, tomato. So in the yellow one, let's put that slider. So I'll just paste all that slider stuff, save it. And we got a slider here. So, I mean, that's convenient. I don't have to install some like random React component just for a slider. It's built into Chakra, so that's cool. I like that. You can customize it by adding like a little icon here. That's pretty cool. They have labels. That's important. That's cool. So, okay, let's see what other components that they might have. Editable. The text editable is used for inline renaming of some text. Let's check this one out. So let's just go ahead and copy this code and paste that right in. And usage, let's check that out. Let's put this one in a different grid. Let's put this in the cyan grid. Let's go back. Cool. Okay, so other than the layout and some of the things I need to kind of learn, I do like how they have all these components out of the box. Like these are things that you're probably going to end up using in your application. And it seems like they have a decently sized set of generic components that you might use. So if you're trying to do a startup or just make an application pretty quick, you don't want to like waste time designing these, styling these, and building these yourself, which is why using a component-based library is great. That's why Bootstrap was so popular, because it kind of provided you all these components out of the box. So it's pretty cool that they have all these different components. I like that. Let me go back to the style system because I think this is a thing that's very custom to Chakra that takes probably some time getting used to. Like, what is utility hooks? Use Boolean. Set flag toggle. Flag to string. Interesting. So it's basically just like a wrapper for like a use state that allows you to toggle it with a toggle function. Flag to string. Boolean state false. Click me the toggle. On. Off. Set flag on. Set flag off. So what is, how do you actually get the value of flag? Is like toString gives you a string value of the Boolean, but how do I actually get like, I guess this is a Boolean. Okay. Interesting. So they have a lot of like utility hooks. I don't know how useful these would be. I have to kind of read through them, understand them, and like use them if I find them useful. But use checkbox, use radio. Probably reading through here would be really important to like know the list of the style props. You have margin, top right, end, bottom left, and then padding all the same. Those are usually important. Kind of, you know, Bootstrap has a similar utility class names you can use. Tailwind has something similar. You can do colors, background color, opacity, okay, gradients, BG clip, background clip, different font families, text to line, layout, width, height, min, max, box size, vertical line overflow, flex box. So they have like flex box properties, I guess, but at the same time they have, I'm pretty sure I saw like a flex component you can use. So I don't know when you want to use one over the other. But this, I mean, this seems like really similar to Tailwind. Like they basically take all your CSS properties and they put them on attributes. I will say this, compared to Tailwind, it is kind of nice that all the attributes are on their own lines because it's easier for a human to kind of parse through these and understand what's going on. And secondly, the one benefit you get is it's very easy to comment out things, right? If you've used Tailwind at all and you have like 50 classes in a class names property, it's very hard to like find the one that you're looking for to comment out or delete or modify. And sometimes you have duplicates. This approach I kind of prefer because it's very easy to kind of read through the components and know like what the heck's going on. Okay, they got some shadow stuff. That's pretty cool. I guess more what I was looking for. Okay, they have responsive styles. Let's check that out. So different breakpoints. How do you use it though? How do you use these breakpoints? Am I missing something? How do you use them? Chakra supports responsive styles out of the box. Instead of manually adding media queries and adding nested styles throughout your code, Chakra UI allows you to provide objects in array values to add mobile-first responsive styles. Okay, responsive styles rely on breakpoints. Okay, so these are the breakpoints. Let's say you have a box. To make the width or W responsive using the array syntax, you do this. What? Yeah, I'm not understanding what this means. Is this like saying that if you're on small, it's going to be 300. If you're on medium, it's going to be 400. If you're on the large, it'll be 500. Is that what they're saying? Okay, I think that's what they're saying. But I would probably use this approach. This is easier to understand. Like you can actually see, like this is the base, this is the medium, this is the large. That makes sense. Okay, so they have different breakpoints that you actually just pass in as props. Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty cool. Like this, as you kind of change your browser width, this box is going to change its styling. So the base is 100. As your monitor gets wider, you slice it down to 50%. As it gets even more wider, you slice it down to 25%. Interesting. I've never seen that approach before, so I think I might want to try that out. Style props. So it's funny, I went away from like experimenting to just like reading through the docs now because I feel like I've gotten my feet wet and I kind of know what I'm doing, kind of. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how long I'm gonna make this video. I'll probably wrap it up right now, but I think at first I was kind of hesitant using this. It seemed like kind of strange, and I think that happens for every new library I touch. I'm like hesitant about it. I think it's dumb, and I start using it, and I'm like, oh, this is so different. It's so dumb. But then after a while, like stuff just starts clicking, and you're like, okay, this isn't that bad. And then I think as you use it more, you get used to it, and you're like, okay, I can see the utility of this. Like the fact that this has a bunch of built-in components right off the bat, that's like a big win, especially if you don't have time to like do all this stuff yourself. I'm not sure how I feel about having all these things as properties on your components, but I think it's just one of those like things you just have to get used to. Kind of like inline styling, like kind of a red flag there. One thing I want to know is like, how do you do hover? Is there a way to do hover effects? Because like in CSS, you can say like :hover, and you can change the color when you hover over something. So let's see if there is a way to do that. Use Boolean, use clip, use dimensions. Okay, is there any like mouse events? I mean, there's got to be a way to do like hovering stuff. Responsive styles. Chakra UI on hover. Style props. Maybe there's like a hover thing you can use here. Okay, you do underscore hover. Is that really how you do it? Wow. Okay, so they have all of these different like, I don't know what these are called. Pseudo-selectors. Okay. So hover, active, focus, read only, and you can apply different things, different properties to your chakra components using the hover pseudo-selector. Okay, yeah, I mean, at this point, I think a lot of it's clicking in my head. I think it all makes sense. I could probably try to actually build out or replicate building something after I kind of read through this more. Maybe I'll make another video in the future of me trying to reproduce something, like even reproduce what I'm seeing here with like links here and whatever, I don't know. But yeah, hope you guys, if you stuck around, you enjoyed watching me kind of read through this, understand it, and leave a comment if you have any comments, or if you use this and you enjoy using it, let me know. And like always, join my Discord if you want to talk to me directly or ask me questions. And also be sure to subscribe if you're new to my channel, because I'm going to have probably more videos like this where I just try stuff out and just talk about it, and you can watch me struggle. All right, have a good day and happy coding.